Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are tuning in from. This is BS Buddies Podcast. I'm your host, Joe. That's your host, Ian. We just created cartoon mashups, and now we're going to peruse a list of the 25 worst cartoon characters ever created. We're going to go through most of the list anyway, give our opinions on, and discuss from there.
Exactly. Journalists, what about them? They write clickbait articles to suck you in because they need those views. This was inspired by quite literally just before Joe and I started recording. I was browsing my homepage and one of the things popped up and it said 25 of the most disliked cartoon characters of all time, and I was like, I must know more. Do tell, and we'll see what the people have decided are some of their least favorite characters of all time. Before we jump into this, Joe, are there any characters off the top of your head that you can think of that you did not like as a kid watching cartoons?
I will say, I looked at a little bit of the list when we were trying to find the full article, and there's one on the list who I hated, and there is a little bit of a story about that character, which I will say once we get to them.
It's
But
gonna be Caillou, isn't
I don't remember much of Caillou,
it?
but I've just always heard from people my age, like looking back, one of the worst characters ever created. Um, this list will jog my memory because I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
we'll we'll see how this goes as we get into it. Keep in mind this was an article written by somebody else. These are not our opinions, and so some of these might be right and some of these might be way off base. But jumping right into it, starting off at number 25, we have Jimmy from Ed and Eddie. You know, the kid with the braces and the retainer ring that goes around, and the title for Jimmy is either a boring victim or way too evil.
Yeah,
And it's yeah, it has some of the most chaotic characters in Cartoon Network's history. Now that I believe, 'cause Ed was something else.
Rolf and Ed
Every
in the same
character,
show.
yeah. Oh my God, that. Do not mess with the son of a shepherd.
Life has many doors, Ed boy.
Life has many doors, Ed boy. And I love him. He was one of my favorites.
Uh,
It says here, however, Jimmy becomes an evil mastermind, and the audience doesn't enjoy it. His character development from the most defenseless kid in the group to concocting plans to get revenge on the Eds could have been funny and interesting, but in turn, Jimmy became way too mean. I
I mean,
mean,
everyone was mean to Ed and Eddie. In my opinion, I didn't really care too much for it. Like, he was a background character. Like, he had comedic relief from time to time. Other than that, it was like Sarah was talked him into a lot of the stuff. So
yeah,
I
yeah, I
don't.
always thought
Eh,
Sarah was the one always dragging him around. I mean, if we really want to be pointing fingers, it's
yeah.
probably Sarah was whispering in his ear. You know, Jimmy was a young, impressionable kid. I don't know. I mean, maybe he had some evil moments, but I don't blame the kid. He had a couple of screws loose.
That whole town
It
did.
is
The
a
whole cul-de-sac.
in Hey Arnold for number 24. It's a miracle that Eugene never dies. The, the problem, I don't know how you can make a disliked character based on the fact that he doesn't die. The problem with Eugene is that it is impossible for a child to have such bad luck and still be alive.
Yeah, I mean, South Park, they kill Kenny all the time.
Uh, One of the members of the gang in Hey Arnold, Eugene, is constantly having severe accidents. No matter what he does, it will end with disastrous consequences. Eugene will break all his bones if he tries to climb a tree or learn to ride a bike. Despite his terrible luck, Eugene remains optimistic, always smiling and trying to live life to the fullest.
So I don't.
And you know what? That bitch for trying to be happy.
I don't remember much of Hey Arnold. But as you were reading that, I'm like, man, that kind of sounds familiar now. Like, very secondary character that just got hurt a lot.
I mean, like, Eugene could be an endearing character for only a few episodes, but it's hard to watch him season after season. Yeah, screw you, kid. Your life keeps handing you lemons and you keep making lemonade, and we're getting sick of it. Just get pasted on the highway or something. I can't believe we're already at character number 2 and we're just jumping off the deep end. It's supposed to be a life lesson about, keep on persevering or
No,
something. No, screw him.
just give up.
Uh, from Foster's Home for Imaginary
Here it
Friends for
is.
number 23. Bendy was a mischievous and irredeemable imaginary friend. Audiences hated Bendy so much that the writers even took him off the TV series.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
He's a horrible troublemaker and a liar. Not only was he a creepy cartoon character, but he would cause and blame many problems on someone else, and the audience thought he was irritating. I honestly don't remember Bendy,
I
and
I
I,
re
I feel like I.
I was gonna
Oh, go
say,
ahead.
a couple of years ago, I bought the full disc series, so I got to rewatch that episode. I'm like, and I remember like, oh, Bendy was so annoying. You watch the episode, and it drives you nuts. Like, it's not like he does a few things that blames it on others. There's montages of things that he does to others, and yeah, I was gonna say, like, he was going to be one of the main characters, but people hated him so much that, like, I had to think, like, did he ever get adopted out? Like, do they show that? And I don't think he ever comes up again. They just like, okay, that was a mistake. We're gonna move on.
Maybe they did that old trope of like they shipped him off to like boot camp for imaginary friends, and now Bendy's in some like conflict in some corner of the world or
They put him in
something
that
like that.
cube outside that the high
Yeah,
school imaginary friends.
just put him in jail. They're like, you're going to solitary for the rest of your life. I don't even remember him. I'd have to rewatch that. I just sort of like
You're
black
gonna
hole
get irritated. It's like, man,
in the.
he's just infuriating.
There is one character that I'm thinking of that better be on this list, or I'm gonna be mad. But moving on to number 22, Muscle Man from Regular Show is an all around bad idea. Everyone either hates or loves Muscle Man, but the truth is that he is unnecessarily grotesque. He is the
Oh,
only
I know who
human
you're
in
talking
this
about now.
show. He's not the only human. There's been other humans. I mean, they've been in like flashback stuff,
Yeah,
but there's been
there's.
other humans. Not like main dedicated characters, but there's other
I mean,
humans.
I can't remember the characters' names off the top of my head, but like the top hat guy, I would say he's human.
He is so he's the only human in the show, and he works with Mordecai and Rigby at the park. He is usually mean and annoying, and his scenes are weirdly disgusting, such as
So
when he removes his shirt, which is frequent.
yeah, so
What?
the thing with Muscle Man is at first when I first started watching the show, and I would love to watch it front to back because I hear it's a masterpiece, like overall. Like you do get annoyed, but then you get kind of used to it, and then you start finding him funny. It's like, of course, he would say that. Like you just kind of, he's a character you got to get used to because that's how he's written, and
Yeah,
he's
like
a main character.
I
It's
don't
like
think
your
there's
annoying
anything.
friend that will never shut up and says the most grotesque jokes. You get used to them. It's like, yep, go figure. You said that.
It's like, yeah. And I mean, like, okay, I get it. Some people might not be fans of him, but objectively, the whole, oh no, bro. The screaming that he does is always like, the screams that he makes are so stupid, but they
And
make me laugh.
and the mom jokes. I like that they don't. He doesn't say your mom jokes. I think that's what
He
makes
says,
him good too. Like just flipping it.
you know who else? My mom. It's so stupid. How could you be mad at him? Ah, oh, here we go for number 21, Phineas and Ferb. We're bringing some Phineas and Ferb. Candace. Candace is always trying to snitch on her brothers.
Isn't that the whole
Candace
point of
isn't
the show? Just saying, isn't that the whole point?
Candace isn't a bad character per se, but it gets on people's nerves that she's constantly trying to snitch on her brother's unconventional adventures. Phineas and Ferb consistently create phenomenal pieces of technology. All that matters to Candace is showing her mom what they're doing. It makes her look petty and selfish.
You know,
I mean, isn't the
if
whole
I
idea that like they're genius kids and they create these things, but they can't like let the adults know that they can do these amazing things?
there
Isn't
is
that one of the big things?
there is one episode where they do find out about something. It's like one of their big specials, but I think they rip on SpongeBob in that episode too, or a different one. Anyway, um,
I don't know.
like you could see it from the angle of like the first episode where they build a roller coaster and it's just like an older sister. I mean, granted, this is not what she wants, but like it's like this is very dangerous and you guys don't have licenses and I want you to be safe. Like can we stop? Like, mom, do you need to put an end to this before someone dies? But it's never portrayed in that light. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna get them in trouble.
This does jog my memory of that one like theory around like oh why Candace is doing this is because like isn't it something like she's like in a coma and she's like imagining all of this or something like that
What?
and so she keeps yeah it's I swear to God it's there's a true thing it's like some theory that Candace is like suffering from some sort of like post-traumatic stress or she's like in like this coma or something like that and so the reason she keeps trying to show her mom all of these things is to like prove that what she's seeing and experiencing is real. It's not in her head. It's a real thing, but she can never catch him in the act because Phineas and Ferb like it's either like they don't exist or it like something happened to them and it's like Candace blames herself or something like that and it's like it's a wild theory.
You know,
I'll have to look it up for you. It's
Fos-
insane.
Foster's Home already has a really sad ending, and it's kind of like that. We don't need any more shows like that.
Nothing crazy, please. Nothing over the top like that. Let's see here. Ooh, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Krang. I don't know if you
I don't
remember
know.
him. He's a big muscle dude and he had a brain in his stomach. Apparently he's hated, sometimes mocks and demeans his own allies, including Shredder. I mean, good, we don't like Shredder. Nobody likes Shredder. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid, so that one's maybe a bit more of an obscure one, but this list is available for you guys to find if you want. Just look up 25 most disliked cartoon characters. Let's see. Baby Huey, that's from like the 1950s Walt Disney series or cartoons like Bugs Bunny and all that.
Oh,
Let's see. Great Gazoo. What was this from? With the Flintstones.
not
Oh,
I. I'd have no idea.
yeah, he's like the little alien guy from the Great Gazoo. How can you hate a cartoon character that's this old? Famous to a point in TV show's history when it passes creative peak and begins an inexorable decline. Oh my god. All right. Yeah, we'll just get past this one. Oh, here's one that everyone will relate to. Number 17. Vinny had the bad luck of replacing Brian after Brian's death on Family Guy. I
I don't
remember
know. I
this
don't know
one.
who Vinny is. I didn't know they replaced Brian. I gotta look up this list
Well,
again because I gotta see pictures.
they they tried to. I remember because we were in high school when that episode of
Yep.
Brian dying came out, and everyone was so pissed that they got rid of Brian, and then they were even more pissed when they tried to bring in this Vinny. Despite the show's overuse of Italian American stereotypes, Vinny's personality and actions aren't what mobilized fans against him. Instead, Vinny earned the hatred of
Ugh.
the show's fandom by being the in-universe and out-of-universe replacement for Brian Griffin, the family's beloved dog who was killed in season 12, episode 6.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
didn't even see a picture of Vinny. I didn't know they replaced Brian. That dog is ugly.
Yeah. I think eventually they brought Brian back
Yeah, because
because
everyone
of
hated it.
because of the outlash. Which, I mean, to be honest, if they had put Brian in here, that would 100% make sense to me. Because, granted, it's not that I dislike Brian; he's got his hilarious moments, but I feel like in later seasons he was just kind of turned into like this Mary Sue. He's like the epitome of being an asshole instead of like being witty and funny that he was in earlier seasons. But I do remember this when they killed Brian and they brought in Vinny, and people were just so pissed off. They were like, "No, bring back Brian." He's remembered as a more as a hurtful punchline than a character in his own right. God, what a harsh final sentence to put on him. Um, oh, here we go. Here's the show that I was thinking of for my hated character for number 16. The Tibble twins in Arthur. I don't even remember these guys being in Arthur, to be
I
honest with
do.
you.
I do.
Arthur's had a legion of characters over his 25 seasons and produced very few who have struck the wrong note with audiences, and even fewer of those have been recurring characters. Nonetheless, the Tibble twins, the DW aged neighbors of Arthur and DW, rubbed many of the show's fans the wrong way. They originally appeared as a way of teaching Arthur about presumptions. He agrees to babysit them, thinking it will be easy, only to find out there are far more than he can handle. Since then, their toddler reign of terror has continued unabated. Despite ostensibly being DW's friends, the twins usually spend their screen time doing terrible things to either her or Arthur, such as breaking her toys, snapping Arthur's expensive glasses, and even putting DW in the hospital.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember they were awful.
Most of the time, the Tibble twins are never disciplined, and even when they apologize, they resume their annoying behavior almost immediately. I don't know if the guy who wrote this article has ever been around toddlers, but to me, that's like a pretty accurate. I guess toddler is maybe a bit of a liberal use of that word. Young child. Young children are terror agents. They don't care at all. All of those things sound pretty in character. And I mean, if we're being honest, DW is the one that I hated because DW was always getting in trouble with Arthur, and it was always Arthur's fault, no matter what it was. It's like, oh, DW, she's a precious little princess. How could you do this, Arthur? You're older. You're supposed to know better. And it's like, discipline her, and we wouldn't have these problems.
I remember there's one episode where like she has a hearing issue, and that's all I can think about is like, does my child have that? Because I really feel like she needs that procedure done.
Every episode with DW was a hearing issue. That bitch never listened. Just
By the way, I'm on the article now. You can skip the next one. It's a Powerpuff Girls person I have never heard of in my life. But the next one you will find hilarious.
yes, I see this one now. Number 14. Despite his meme-worthy personality, Aquaman's character is paradoxically overdone and bland. I mean, granted, we've all seen the jokes about Aquaman. Oh, he can swim really fast and he can talk to fish. Boy, if I ever need help from a school of sunfish, I'll give him a call. But I mean, come on.
The only true Aquaman is Mermaid Man.
That's true. That's true. For a long time, Aquaman was associated with useless situational superpowers. Man, they just rip into this poor guy. He hasn't even done anything wrong. I mean, he's a water superhero. You got other superheroes. You need a water superhero. Come on, man. It's not his fault. He didn't choose them. Explains Super Friends, whose personality was bland, blah, 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 blah. Stood in stark contrast to his standalone series, The Adventures of Aquaman, blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah blah. He sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Aquaman. Like I get it. We all love the jokes and make the memes, but I don't think that makes him necessarily a hated character. I
Yeah,
think
like
people
he's a
just
like. Hold on. If
what
this
is
one, I gotta check something on this list quick. Because if Aquaman made this list and someone else didn't, we're going to have some issues.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a lot of issues. We have issues,
What is
Ian.
this?
Green Lantern is not on this list, but Aquaman is.
Come on. This is clearly propaganda. This is big propaganda by superheroes all over the world to put
Okay.
down my man Aquaman.
Here,
Would
I
it
want to.
also, are you on the Aquaman one? Can you click through the pictures on the bottom? Go to the third picture where they're all like standing in the cave. They all look like a bunch of like munchkins. What is the
That looks like if I were to draw the superheroes, like all of them look squished. They have gigantic feet.
Please save that
Like,
and put
there's-
that in the video just so people can see.
I'll try my best to remember.
Why is their feet so big? Why does Wonder Woman look like that?
Like, if you go to the fourth picture and see what kind of heel boots she's wearing, there's no way those feet are getting in those.
Them dogs ain't fitting in that. Dude, Aquaman looks like the dwarf that you'd see like hanging around outside, like, hey man, you want some rocks? I got all kinds of rocks in this cave, man. Like they all just look like they should be like waddling around swinging pickaxes or like Snow White and the seven up dwarves or something like this.
I want to move on to the next one because I want to rip into this one. Ian said he didn't know this one. Sparky
Alright,
disappears
yes, ma'am.
after a single season, much to the fandom's relief. Fairly Odd Parents. Sparky's inclusion in the Fairly Odd Parents' 9th season was seen by many as an attempt to add another child-friendly character to an already jam-packed cast. He's another in a long line of late-inning characters who arrive in an effort to shake up the formula only to cause more damage than they repair. Aside from issues with continuity, this alleged fairy dog comes off as obnoxious, yes, irritating, yes, and selfish, yes. Moreover, several fans felt that his character was redundant, yes, as Cosmo had been the show's resident dunderhead from the very first episode. Sparky's troublesome behavior isn't half as benevolent or endearing as Cosmo's, which is why he disappears after a single season. So they already added Poof, the baby, like a season or two before this. And I already thought it was like, okay, this is getting kind of. There's a lot of characters we got to pay attention to now. And Poof was just kind of there to be Poof. And then they added this thing. Butch, I love your writing and I love your work. Why'd you add a dog? Like, and it wasn't even like if it was a smart dog, like the smartest dog ever, I think it would have been a bit different. But Sparky was as dumb, if not dumber, than Cosmo. Like, I watched these episodes when they first came out, and Sparky was just. This is probably one of my least favorite characters. Sparky was awful. Awful.
I must have stopped watching Fairly Odd Parents by the time they got to that point because I don't remember Sparky, but I do remember that, yeah, Cosmo always had like the perfect timing on all of his idiot jokes. Like Wanda would be sitting there, she'd be like, "Come on, Timmy, 2 wrongs doesn't make a right." And then Cosmo would be like, "Yeah, but 3 rights make a left." And then he'd start doing like his little maracas thing or whatever like that, and it was like that was well timed.
Sparky also had a terrible voice. Like it was like meant to be stupid. And it didn't
Just
mix well.
Grating.
Like it was like a deeper voice, low intelligent voice, but we are kind of running out of time. If we want to speed through some of these, like this next one, I don't know if you've watched Simpsons too much.
No,
but
I haven't. I was going to skip down to Caillou.
Yeah, that's Caillou made number 9 out of 25.
It's comedian John Oliver once described Caillou as the children's show about a bald Canadian child who lives a life devoid of any incident. Oh, that's amazing. Benevolent, curious, and adventurous, uncharacteristically mature personality traits for a 4-year-old boy. Hey, look, he's bald. He's got more airflow to the upper deck. He's got more thinking, processing power going on. Like it tracks and makes sense, man. You don't got to get too in depth into it. Like Goldilocks, he complains that the bath water is either too hot or too cold. Wait a minute, you were just complaining about him being too mature for his age, and now when he does things appropriate for his age, you don't. It's not tracked. It's not tracking. He's 4. It makes sense for a 4-year-old. Oh man, I don't. I don't. I do. I do think it's hilarious. I just
I
hate Caillou.
I
Why? It's a
love
wholesome.
I love what's bolded in this. The only thing that's bolded in this part. Caillou is painfully unkind to his little sister. That's the only thing that's bolded.
Pinching her cheeks and making her cry for no reason.
He's 4.
She's a baby.
And
She
he's
cries
4.
when she poops.
Where are the parents?
Thankfully, his bratty temperament improves following the show's 4th season when the writers presumably start picking up the hints. Yes, when the writers start writing 4-year-olds like not like a 4-year-old, then it picks up, then it makes sense.
I have no idea who the next one is. I know who the next one after that is.
Oh yeah, good old Cartman. Eric Cartman crosses too many lines way too often. I mean, that's true. I don't like Cartman specifically because he's just a jackass. But I also understand that's what his character's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the outlandish, wild one who does all kinds of crazy things. But he does have his moments, like come on, you and me, right now, let's go. And he gets hit and immediately starts crying.
I've watched a lot of stuff on the creators of South Park, and like every character that they make is based off of someone that they know. And they're like, everyone always in their school had a fat kid who was a bully. That's what Cartman is. And I think them just being upfront, it's like, you know someone like this. That's why we make someone like this. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
I don't know who the
Yes.
next one is.
Just skip
Or
it
the
down
next-
a little
or the
bit
next
through
one.
some of these. They have Mako from Legend of Korra, which, if I'm being honest, there's probably another main character of Legend of Korra that people are not happy with.
I haven't seen a single episode, but I've seen a
Just
lot of
saying.
episodes of this next one.
Oh, yes. Angela Pickles constantly scorns and teases the other Rugrats.
Yes, that
You
is
mean
her
like-
character.
You
That
mean
is-
like what every older child does to every toddler ever?
like Angelica? I can't remember it. Yeah, it says a year or 2 older. Like if the other kids are like 1, she's got to be like 3, and it just makes sense. Like I could see my kiddo being this way. Like I'm going to boss you around, and if you don't listen,
I love the second paragraph here, the first sentence, the nitpick that they went for above all the others. One of Angelica's most obnoxious features is her singing voice, which doesn't obey basic concepts like pitch and tone. Because we all know 3 and 4-year-olds are well known for their robust and adept singing voices.
And then it goes into she enforces her tyrannical regime on Tommy, Chucky, and the twins while nonchalantly ignoring their complaints and protests. Yes, because that's how children are. On a positive note, Angelica becomes slightly less unbearable as the show continues.
Fantastic. All right, I just skipped down to our last 2 for
Oh, you don't want to?
here.
Oh, you said last 2. Never mind. Yeah, this guy is banned on all continents now.
Yeah, Pepe Le Pew is the poster skunk for outdated sentiment. First voiced by Mel Blanc, yeah, as with pretty much every Looney Tunes character back in the 40s and 50s. He was intended as a parody of romantic movie stars. I would argue that he still is. who became well known as an on screen lover. His cheeseball line in 1937's Algiers, "Come with me to the Casbah," was cheerfully appropriated by the skunk, who made it far more famous than Boyer ever did. At the same time, however, Pepe Le Pew became the poster
Oh,
skunk for
for
great for wow, that is a bold
that's a
claim.
statement.
Hounding,
Like, yes, I know that's what a lot of people are saying, but man, just to read it is like, wow, that's harsh.
hounding, hounding Penelope Pussycat in almost every episode. The terrified cat struggles to evade her supposedly amorous suitor, explaining why the audience sympathized more with her experiences than Pepe's voracious sexual appetite. Skunks aren't. This
Let's get
this
into
is
science, people, because skunks aren't a naturally aggressive species, but this Looney Tunes character makes them all seem like violent predators. What?
this is such a, oh my god, this is like the perfect example of a historical character viewed through the lens of like modern moralistic values. He is still a hilarious character because I'm pretty sure like he never ever won any of the times that he went after her. She always got away, he always got injured, he always got knocked back in some sort of funny fashion. Like he never won. He never
So,
got what he was after.
so if we're gonna take the sentence I read from this article, then why don't I see all the bunnies dressed up whenever I look outside my window and see them running around and being smarter than the hunters?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, bunnies are not naturally extremely intelligent creatures. Like, why this show makes it seem like every bunny you encounter is gonna like run circles around you and dress up in disguises and make an anvil descend from the heavens on top of your head, where a little knot will grow out and just go "Bloop," and push your hat like a foot off your noggin.
Oh,
You can't
what?
make some of this.
Apparently,
Are
this
you
last
looking at?
sentence either.
Which one? Which one are you looking
The
at?
tables are occasionally turned on Pepe. Penelope gives him a taste of his own toxic medicine in For Sentimental Reasons, the episode. The only Academy Award winning Pepe cartoon.
I mean, yeah, wasn't that kind of the joke? She like turns it back on him and he's like too stunned because he never expected that.
Okay, Ian,
Oh my
take
god.
us home for another
I'm
character that
taking
they
it
had
home.
to unwrite out of their lore because they made such a bad mistake.
Oh, and for number one most hated character in this article and in the universe, Scrappy Doo, which what a flattering picture they chose for
What is
for
this
this
even
article.
from? Like, it looks like
That's a
AI made that one.
I It does. It really does. I don't know what that is. It's horrifying to look at. It had to have come from a modern cartoon or modern cartoon, I should say, or modern airing. But Scooby Doo remains one of the longest running cartoon franchises of all time. However, many fans consider the show's worst period to be whenever Scrappy Doo was at the forefront. Brought in to bolster the show's declining ratings, Scrappy ended up supplanting Fred, Daphne, and Velma. It was also associated with a switch to a three shorts format and the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, which changed the series into a battle with supernatural monsters. Although Scrappy wasn't directly responsible, I love how they have to put that in there. He wasn't directly responsible for the exchanges. Viewers despised him for replacing more popular characters, not to mention his irksome and banal personality. Perhaps most damningly, he wasn't afraid of the ghosts like Shaggy and Scooby were, ruining one of the franchise's most important premises in the process. Fan resentment is so legendary that he became the antagonist for the live action Scooby Doo films in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Now,
Did you
see,
know
okay,
that?
I get it. I didn't know that that was the reason for them
Yep.
making him the antagonist. But
Yeah, that's the reason, because he was so hated by the fans. They're like, let's make him the villain.
I mean, yeah, I can see why they would do that, which it is kind of hilarious to see it. I never had any problem with Scrappy Doo when it was in like the really old ones, like when it was just Shaggy and Scooby, because I always thought it was kind of funny. He was doing the little tough guy act. Come on, let me at him. I'll beat him up. Where's he at? And then they grab him and yank him off screen. But I suppose I never sat down to watch like whole seasons that had Scrappy in it, so I never got like the full experience
Yeah,
blasted at me.
yeah, like I've seen it every so often, and I think if they would have done that, it would have been okay. It's like, oh, here's a little taste of something new. But if they did him for a whole season, I could see how that was frustrating.
Yeah, maybe bring him in as like a once every once in a while character, but I don't know. What do I know? I didn't write this list. I think some of these were pretty far fetched. Some of them were pretty spot on, but some of these were definitely a stretch.
I agree.
Some of these didn't belong on here at all.
What are some of your guys' least favorite cartoon characters? Let us know down in the comments below. Subscribe to become a bud today. And thank you for BSing with us. We will see you next time when we make an ice cream truck. Unless we already did that, then we'll come up with something else.
I don't know. My head hurts too much. I think I'm going to go watch some cartoons to help me think. But in the meantime, you just take her easy now.